Howdy folks, and welcome back to War Thunder with the mighty Jingles. This is going to be a crew skills video. It's some of the questions that I just keep getting in video comment after video comment are mostly to do with the crew skills of the various different aircraft and what they actually mean and what's the benefit of taking this crew skill or not taking that crew skill. Now, I have already done a crew skill video, but some of it was just plain wrong, and a lot of it's out of date. So that's what this one is. If those of you who are not interested in hearing about crew skills, do not despair. There should be an annotated link popping up right up here in the top left corner of the screen. Just click on that and it will take you straight to the action in this video, which is the very first game I ever flew in this little beast here, the Australian Mark 21 Beaufighter. And it was a really fun game, and I hope you enjoy it. So if you don't want to hear about the crew skills, just click that link up there and jump straight into the dogfighting. For the rest of us, now they've all gone, it's just us. So crew skills, let's take a quick look. Now, 4 different tabs on the crew skills button. So you've got pilot, gunners, ground service and qualification. Not going to worry about qualification too much right now. Pilot and ground service affect everybody. Gunners only affects aircraft that have more than one crew, i.e. a tail gunner or various different gun crews. If you're just flying single seat fighter aircraft, you don't need to worry, you don't need to spend a single XP point on the gunners tab. Okay? Fire accuracy and fire precision do not matter to the pilot, only AI gunners. So we're going to ignore that for the moment and concentrate on the first tab, the pilot tab. Now, the first 2 skills, keen vision and visibility, these 2 skills work against each other. Keen vision is the range at which you will detect an enemy aircraft if you're looking in that direction. Right? It's very, very important. I must stress that it's only in the range at which you are looking. So this is another reason why it's always a good idea to keep panning your view around the cockpit, or if you play in third-person view in arcade battles, hold down the C button and pan your mouse around to keep looking around your aircraft. Now, the keen vision skill will extend the range at which, and this is an important distinction to make, at which you can detect an enemy. Now, you may have seen in some of my other videos, I have quite clearly spotted an enemy aircraft. I've been looking up and I've seen this dot in the sky above me, and I know it's an enemy aircraft. But his name and the type of aircraft he's flying have not appeared in red above him. That's because even though I can see him, it sounds kind of silly, but even though I can see him, he's outside of my keen vision range, so I haven't identified him. That's probably the best way of thinking of it. Your keen vision is the range at which you will spot and identify an enemy target and have the game put the guy's name and type of aircraft above his aircraft for you. What's working against that is that pilot's visibility skill. So this is kind of like, for those of you who play World of Tanks, this is kind of like the camo skill in World of Tanks. It reduces the range at which you will be identified. So the keen vision and the visibility skill kind of work against each other. Now we move on to G tolerance. And G tolerance is very, very, very important for fighter pilots. It's also useful, very useful actually, for bomber pilots, but it's of paramount importance for fighter pilots, because the fighter pilots are the ones throwing themselves into tight turns and subjecting the pilot and the airframe to intense negative and positive G-forces. And you will have seen it yourself when you go into a steep dive in a dive bomber, and as you pull out at the bottom of the dive, you start to black out. And that's simulating blood rushing away from the head of the pilot and causing you to black out because of all the G-forces, the positive Gs that are pushing you down into your seat as you pull out of that steep dive. Fighter pilots will experience the same thing when they're pulling into a tight turn trying to stay on the tail of a bandit. The higher your G tolerance, the more Gs you can sustain before you start to black out. Or if you're pulling negative Gs by flipping the aircraft the other way, the screen will start to red out, and that's simulating blood rushing to the pilot's head. Whichever way you go, the higher the pilot's G tolerance, the more G-force he can sustain before that starts to happen. Now, that kind of also links into the stamina. Stamina allows the crew to resist fatigue for a longer period of time. Their accuracy and G-tolerance gradually decrease, depending on two things: the time spent in the session and the number of G-forces sustained. So that's two things: the length of time you've been flying that aircraft and the number of G-forces you've sustained. So talking about the G-forces again, this is a good idea to always have high G-tolerance if you can possibly afford it. Because every time you start to black out, you start to lose stamina. And when you start to lose stamina, your accuracy becomes decreased. So G-tolerance and stamina kind of work together. The higher your stamina, well, the less accuracy penalty you're going to suffer by pulling too many Gs. But also, stamina is also affected by how long you've been flying an aircraft. So all those jet jockeys that you jump into random games and you see people in MiG-15s who never get shot down. Well, the longer they're flying that aircraft, if they don't have high stamina, they take a big hit on the accuracy the longer they're in the air, unless they have a high stamina skill. Now, vitality kind of ties into ground service and healing speed. I'm not entirely sure what the correlation is between the two skills. I really don't know. But one other thing that it is useful for is your basic. It's like having a health bar for your pilot. Many times I'll have been on the tail of an enemy aircraft in some crappy little piece of rubbish with 2 machine guns, and I've fired a burst, and my very first shot has destroyed the enemy aircraft. And there's no actual visible damage on the airplane, but I get the kill message and he goes into a dive. I put a bullet into the pilot, basically. That's what's happened. The higher the vitality, the less chance of that happening. But vitality also, somehow, and I don't know how, I don't know exactly what the relationship is, but it also affects the speed of their recovery if they are wounded. That ties into some of the ground service skills, but we'll look at that in a moment. So those are the pilot skills. Now, most of the pilot skills are duplicated under the gunner tab, but the gunner tab is only for aircraft that actually have gunners. So Spitfires, BF-109s, any single-engined aircraft, not single-engine, sorry, any single-seat aircraft, you don't need to spend a single point on the gunner tab. So it's a good idea when you're setting up these teams to, if you're going to put some ground attack aircraft, something that has a tail gunner, or other aircraft like bombers that do have multiple gunner positions, always concentrate those air crews, or those aircraft in one aircrew tab. So, for example, if you look at this one, you will see that this is where my well, I've got the Gladiator there as well. There we go. My bomber crews: the Wellington Mark 1C, the Wellington Mark 3, the Wellington Mark 10. So that I don't have to waste crew points training gunners in multiple different crew slots when all I'm going to fly, for example, I mean the Beaufighter here has a gunner, so I also have to start spending points in this crew slot on gunner skills. But in this slot I'm also trained Mark 2 Spitfire, so that's a waste. Mark 1B Typhoon, so that's a waste. The Mark 5B Spitfire, so that's a waste, and so on and so on and so on. So if you can try to concentrate all your bomber or multi-seat aircraft into just one or two different crew slots and free up everything else for your fighters, just to save yourself spending crew points on skills that not every aircraft manned by that crew are going to use. Moving back onto the gunner skills, number of experienced gunners. This one is really, really simple. Let's pull up the Wellington. There we go. And it tells you right at the top: country, Britain, current aircraft, Wellington, Mark 10, number of gunners, 4. So the Wellington has 4 gunners. So if that number is less than 4, all of the gunner crew skills are reduced. They all suffer a penalty. That number there must at least equal that number up there. You must have the same or more experienced gunners trained as the aircraft can actually carry. So Wellington has 4 gunners, that must be 4 or higher. If it's not 4 or higher, you'll see a big minus number in red next to these skills, indicating the penalty that you are suffering for not having trained all of your gunners. Now, fire accuracy and fire precision. Again, gunner only. These can be as high as you like. if you're flying a Spitfire Mark V, they're not going to affect the pilot, not going to affect your own accuracy or your own precision. It's only the AI gunners. What exactly do these numbers mean? Well, accuracy kind of speaks for itself. Accuracy of the aircraft gunner's fire. How likely the gunner is going to be pointing the gun in the right direction. Precision feels like a bit of a cheat. It feels like you're being slightly robbed if you put high accuracy, because even with high accuracy, if you have low precision, the gun might be pointing straight at the target, but most of the bullets are going to miss because they're going to scatter around the point of aim. Fire precision just narrows and tightens the arc of fire, if you like, of the burst that your machine gunners are firing when they're shooting at enemy aircraft. It means that with good accuracy, the gun's going to be pointed in the right direction, and with good precision, most of the bullets are going to hit the target. With low precision, most of the bullets are going to scatter around and might not hit. They might still hit the target, depends on how big and how far away the aircraft is you're shooting at, but they are not going to hit the point of aim. Now, the G tolerance, the stamina and the vitality are exactly the same for your AI gunners as they are for your pilots, so no real need to go into those again. Moving on to ground service. Now, repair rank. We're going to repair rank first, because this is, again, one of the ones that I get most of the questions about. You can see that the Wellington Mark 10 is a rank 10 aircraft, and my repair rank is 12. 12 is higher than 10, so I get no penalties to the repairs, the reloads, etc., on this aircraft. We go to my Mark 12, you will see that my repair rank that I have trained is 12. So again, the maximum rank of aircraft that the mechanic can repair. Now, what I do not know is whether or not, you see, it's kind of deceptive the way it's worded. The maximum rank of aircraft that the mechanic can repair. Now, I believe that if that repair rank was less than 12, which is the rank of the aircraft I want to repair, the Mark V Spitfire, the aircraft would be repaired anyway, but it would take a lot longer. And it would take a lot longer because the repair rank is less than the rank of the aircraft, and it's as simple as that. Whichever aircraft you want to repair, the repair rank must at least match the rank of that aircraft. However, this is very, very important. It doesn't matter how high your repair speed is, how high your reload speed, or how high your healing speed is, or your repair rank, if you have turned on automatic repair of your aircraft. Right down here, this tick box here, automatic repair of all airplanes after battle. If that box is ticked, and this is automatic purchasing of ammo refills after battle, if either of these boxes are ticked, it does not matter how many points you have put into those ground service skills, because they will just charge you credits and resupply and repair everything regardless of what you have here. In order to get any use out of these skills, you have to have turned these off. Now, I've got automatic ammo reloads, but I don't have automatic repairs because I'm basically trying to make money. So if you've turned off automatic repairs, these ground service skills actually start to make a difference. Now, repair speed speaks for itself. The rate at which the aircraft is repaired in the hangar and at the airfield. At the airfield means in the game. When you're flying around, you do an air domination on Stalingrad, you get your engine shot out, you do a soft landing, you sit on the airstrip waiting for the mechanics to repair your plane. With high repair speed, that will only take a few seconds. With low repair speed, you can be sitting there for a minute waiting for your aircraft to be repaired. When you're off the battlefield, that is how long it's going to take for free repairs on the aircraft. Now, you can see my Mark 5C Spitfire. If the aircraft was 100% wrecked, it would take me 3 days and 19 hours to repair it for free. That's a long time. Now, the repair rank we've already talked about. We're going to skip reload speed for the moment and go straight to healing speed, because a lot of people neglect healing speed. It's not just the aircraft that can be damaged. The pilot and the crew can also be hit. There's no real way of telling whether or not the crew are also injured. But what I have noticed was that I can't remember what aircraft it was, but I had very, very good repair speed, and I hadn't bothered putting a single point in healing speed. And the aircraft was wrecked after the battle. It was there in red in the hangar, and I moused over it and it told me it was going to take 5 days to repair it. I thought, what the hell? you know, it had, look at this, it had 100 out of 50 repair speed. I thought, no way. And then I noticed that the healing speed hadn't spent a single point on the healing speed. So I immediately went in, put some points into healing speed, came out, had a look, and suddenly that 5 days repair had gone down to 2 days because the crew had been injured. But it doesn't tell you that. But you just need to take it for granted that for ground service, healing speed is every bit as important as repair speed. And that leaves us with reload speed. And this, if you're using automatic repairs, you can ignore repair speed, repair rank, and healing speed. You don't need to worry about it at all. You'll just pay credits and get the aircraft immediately put back into service. But everybody is going to want reload speed. This thing, Mark 5C Spitfire, with that amount of reload speed, takes, up until now, it's been taking, I can't remember if it's 12 or 14 seconds to reload its 20mm cannons in the air. I have just spent gold to upgrade that to ACE qualification, which means that instead of plus 30 for expert qualification, that bonus there is now plus 50. That is probably going to mean that it's going to take 8 to 10 seconds to reload these cannons in the air when they run out of ammo. That also, for bomber crews, affects the speed at which you reload your bombs after you've emptied your bomb load. It reloads the machine guns on fighters and the machine guns on bombers when the AI gunners are out of ammo. That reload speed is an incredibly, for everybody, it's just so useful. Highly recommend everybody puts as many points in a reload speed as they possibly can. Which moves us on to qualification, and you'll see that right here, only really, it's probably not a good example. Let's look at the Spitfire Mark C. There we go. ACE, this is the qualification level. Now, you've seen, when you looked at these different crew skills, these bonus numbers next to the various skills. That's the qualification level of the aircraft. It's the final tab on the crew skills. You can see that these are the aircraft, that crew skill, that slot there, that crew, these are the aircraft that these guys are trained in. And you can see basic, which is what everybody comes with, and it tells you how much it's going to cost you to upgrade the qualification to expert on that one aircraft. So I'm going to go right ahead and upgrade the qualification from basic to expert on the Mark 1 Hurricane in this crew slot. And it only costs, because it's a tier 2 or 3 aircraft, it only costs 5,900 credits. So bang, there you go. In fact, before we do that, we'll just switch to that aircraft. There it is, Mark 1 Hurricane. And you can see the crew skills there are no bonuses next to it. Now if I upgrade the qualification to expert, and we go back to that aircraft, a bonus of plus 30 on various pilot, gunner and ground service skills. If we go back to that aircraft, and at this low level it costs you nothing. It's substantially more expensive when you get up to rank 12, but 20 gold, we're going to upgrade the qualification of the Hurricane crew to ACE. And then if we go back, you'll see they're getting a bonus of 50 to various different skills. And that, in a nutshell, is exactly what the qualification tab is for. So hopefully that's answered everybody's questions about crew skills. And in future, next time anybody asks, I'll just be able to point them straight back to this video. But that's more than enough talk. It's about time we got some killing done. So stay with us, and I'm going to show you the very first game I ever flew in the Mark 21 Beaufighter. Royal Australian Air Force Mark 21. Great machine. Have a lot of fun with this thing. Stay with me, and I hope you enjoy the show. Flying with the Brits again. The highest tier British aircraft I've got. Reached rank 11 a couple of days ago, which means the Mark 21 Beaufighter. Going to take that out for a spin and watch me completely suck in it. It also means that in a couple of days, if I keep this up, I'll be flying a Mosquito. I say a couple of days because I don't actually spend that much time playing this. I spend more time recording the videos and editing and uploading them than I do actually playing. But, oh, there it is. Oh, isn't she pretty? In the Royal Australian Air Force colours. So I'm going to have to do the rest of this video with my Australian accent. Southeast Asia Command. What we got then? Let's have a look. That's not bad actually. Certainly. I've seen some tier 4s there. Although, you know, you could have people flying around with mosquitoes and they're taking their kitty hawks out first. So let's get ourselves some altitude and go hunting bombers. Oh, I forgot, I'm supposed to be Australian today, ain't I? There's a Wellington over there. And a Beaufort. Oh, the guns this thing's got. Oh man. G'day, Mr. Wellington. Oh, look at all of those bombs. I'm gonna have fun with this thing. Oh yeah. Yeah, they see me coming. They be running. Keep an eye open though. I want to see fighters climbing up to get me. But unless these guys are squadroned up with somebody, they're going to get no help from the fighters. They're really not. It just doesn't happen. Yeah, you like that, don't you, bitch? Let's go for the other welly. He's seen me coming. He's trying to dive, he's trying to climb, he can't make his mind up. That's one. Where'd the other one go? Where'd you go, Blue? Blenheim will do. Got distracted there typing in chat. Right, that is never going to do. Flaps. Turn. There he is. This thing is fast. Don't need the flaps anymore. Actually, perhaps I do. Yeah, he's seen me coming. And there he goes. Oh, another Beaufighter. Alright. Alright, it's on. Oh, I'm catching a bit of flack there. Yeah, you like that, don't you, bitch? Everybody's, holy fuck, I'm in a game with Jingles. Yeah, it's usually at this point. Somebody on there. Wherever he is, he ain't that big. Flaps, turd. Crap, it's a Beaufighter. Yeah, let's go. Oh, he's down. He's down. Who's that on my ass? It's like a buffalo. Tailgunner's hitting me. Oh man, I want to stay away from that one. Poor guy in the Nimrod. Oh, fair play to him. Going for the ground targets. Quite unusual. Should I go on land? Oh, I should go on land. Just lost an engine. It's quite unusual that I'm not getting mobbed the second. It usually happens. I mean, I play on the any available server, which pretty much usually means I end up on the Russian server most of the time. But when I do get on the EU server, it can be fun. But having everybody gunning for you the second I get recognised in chat can be a little tedious. Oh, and we won. So there you go. That is the Mark 21 Beaufighter in the Royal Australian Air Force colours. And it's a bit of a beast. I like it a lot. Although apparently people have said that the flight model for it is a bit broken, and it's a little too good. And I have to admit, yeah, that's probably true. I'm not sure if it's the flight model for all of the Beaufighters. That's my first bulletproof. I've never even seen that before. Didn't lose any aircraft and destroyed more air targets than all other players who didn't lose any aircraft. Actually, no, I have had that once before. Well, that's always nice. And so, yeah, my very, very first game in the rank 11 Mark 21 Beaufighter. Hell of a plane. Probably a little too good. How did we do? Not that much credits. Yeah, good amount of it. And don't forget, as I try to remember to say, this is with a premium account. So, you know, plus achievements. So that's a 10th. You know, if you're running a standard account without premium, that's still a 15,000 XP game. Obviously, with achievement and premium bonus, that's a 32,000. Yeah, I can't argue with that. Most assists. Holy shit! Look at that. I've just noticed. Killed the most air targets, got the most assists, and I'm in a heavy fighter. Although, yeah, I was probably the highest tier vehicle there, rank 11. I didn't see anybody else even approaching my level, so I was the big bully in that one. Sorry, guys. And it was nice to. It's always nice getting on the European server in a game. Up until the point when I get spotted, it starts getting a little frustrated because I can't get anything done. Everybody keeps trying to kill me. But I got away with it that time and turned the tables on a few of them. So that was fun. Yeah, the Mark 21 Beaufighter in the Royal Australian Air Force colours. Decent plane. Probably going to get nerfed. As always, watch your six, and I'll catch you next time.